Alright, welcome race fans once again to MaxSpeedTV. Tonight we are bringing you another after hours special here on MaxSpeedTV. It is the SimStar Motorsports 100 presented by Highway Equipment Company. And this is a division of the Northwest Xfinity Series. And that is presented, of course, by Highway and New Leader, both divisions of Highway Equipment Company. We have a fantastic race lined up for you here tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get through all of the sponsors that we have on board here. Of course, on MaxSpeedTV side of things, CeremoniesShop.com. Big shout out to him for coming on board. If you're looking to up your game just a little bit, check them out at CeremoniesShop.com or CeremoniesShop on Facebook to look at their awesome looking button boxes they make there in-house. HRE Motorsports is one of the greatest teams probably here on iRacing, along with Elite 7 Racing. Of course, both of those sponsoring MaxSpeedTV. They have some sprint drivers and some late model drivers, so definitely check out both of those teams. Again, Elite 7 Racing and HRE Motorsports on Facebook, and give their page a like. Virtual2Reality.tv. We not only broadcast their Wednesday series starting this Wednesday, Midget Series, alongside their Friday series for sprint cars. Again, that is been going on a while, but those two series coming up this Wednesday, we will have Michaela in the booth, all the way from Australia, but here in the U.S., going to school for broadcasting, so we'll have her there with us. Dirtco Media House, big shout out to them. When do we do stream to Facebook? It is thanks to Dirtco Media House, so big shout out to them for that. And of course, last but not least, Ohio IndyCar League. Again, they came on as a sponsor not too long ago, and now we actually broadcast their league here on MaxSpeedTV as well. Josh Medlock covering that racing action. But again, if you are on iRacing and you are in the Ohio Ohio Club looking to get into some IndyCar racing, check them out here on the leagues page of iRacing. But again, as always, we want to tell everyone out there, if you're looking to get into iRacing, you have never been on it before, shoot us a message over on our Facebook page at MaxSpeedTV, and we will hook you up with a 3-month code to iRacing free. All we ask is you have at least a gaming controller or wheel and pedals, even better. Of course, you would need one of those to race anyway. But over to the racing side of things. Again, big shout out to Highway Equipment Company. Highway is one of their divisions, so big shout out to them for coming on board. And of course, New Leader, and we're going to have some cameras here tonight. I believe John Ottenbacher is not with us here tonight, so we will not have any in our onboard cameras here for Highway, but New Leader will have 2 onboard cameras here tonight. That will be Mark Walls and Jeff Stabnell, so we'll go on board with him here throughout tonight to get their point of view from things. And of course, Sanctuary Studios, big shout out to Josh Cushman for sponsoring this. That is his company. Again, he is not here with us as well, it doesn't look like, so that is unfortunate to not see him here. However, we do have Chris White from SimStar Motorsports, the sponsor of this race. This is the SimStar Motorsports 100, so we'll be running on board with him for that onboard camera here tonight. Again, all of that coming up here very shortly, but right now we are here in practice for another about 16 minutes or so. So why not, let's go through your point standings real fast. As you can see them pop up on the screen, Jeff Stabnow has a points lead right now. So a very, very marginal points lead at that, by 3 points. So the question is going to be, can he hang on to that points lead here tonight? That is not a very large points lead, to say the least. John Ottenbacher is not here, and he is in second. So that is going to be very interesting as well to see how he does. And actually, that is not correct. I'm not even sure how those snuck in there. So we do apologize for that. That is the truck point standings. But while we got them here, we'll go over the truck point standings. But again, that is not correct. We do apologize. Not even sure how that snuck in there. Chris White is actually the points leader right now, followed by Brian Barnes. in second place, who I do not believe is here tonight either. I do not see him on the track, so we do apologize for that. But again, Chris White is actually your leader right now with 134 points, 14 points ahead of Brian Barnes. Well, again, we do apologize for the wrong points being up there. So running through the top 20 in points right now, David Applegate third, fourth goes to Gary Nichols, fifth, Carl Burke, sixth place is Case Hinkins, seventh place, Jeff Stabnow, Brad Cornell in eighth, ninth place, Kevin Geiger, and 10th is Trent Alley running at your top 10. And there's actually a tie for 10th place right now with Mike Peterson right now with 84 points. 12th place goes to Matt Henry right now. Donald Swayfield currently in the 13th. It's actually tied for 13th with Andy Vogt. 15th goes to Scott Mann. 16th, Chris Sherburne. 17th, Brett Johnson. And Tom Green, he lost 10 spots last race, but he's still in 18th place right now. He is here tonight, so we'll see how he fares tonight. 19th is Mark Walls. He is second fastest here tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that. And Daniel Porovich is currently sitting in 20th. Again, that was a oversight on our behalf. We do apologize for having the truck points in there. That was just a rookie mistake for us. We do apologize for that. But we're here in practice, so let's go ahead and get rid of that for you, and let's pull up our top 10 here in times. Again, those are your top 10 based on practice times right now. As right now, very few cars are on the track. So we'll run through letting you know. Coming up next, of course, is qualifying here with the Northwest Xfinity Series. Tomorrow, we have a couple of different races going on. Two of those being the NORC iRacing Series and the American Racing League. Both of those races coming up tomorrow. Later this week, make sure you stay tuned in. Hit that subscribe button because we do have the Sim Racing Authority GRC Series. We're going to do some rallycross racing on Wednesday. And, of course, the Dirt Slingers Racing League 360 Series fixed coming up Thursday night. So a lot of great stuff coming up. We also have the Northwest Truck Series coming up Thursday night. So a lot of great racing here on MaxSpeedTV. So again, that all coming up here shortly. Right now we are about 12 and a half minutes away from getting started here into qualifying, but KR Stolfus will be here shortly. Right now he is doing the 3-wide rallycross racing, so he is otherwise occupied, but he will be here shortly. So good luck to him. Hopefully he's having some great racing over there right now. But he will be joining us in the booth here in just a little bit. We're going to step away here for a moment, and we're going to let you get a feel for this track here. We have some brand new camera packs. Those are courtesy of TrackCams22.com. So big shout out to him. That is Gourmet Track Cams, or Track Cams for Gourmet there. So big shout out to him for doing that. If you want to check out in the links below, you can actually go get those cameras for a small donation. But again, we're going to step away here and let you have just a little bit of a feel for these cars, and we will be right back here in just a few minutes. Alright guys, give us just a minute here. We're going to go to our away screen real fast. So we hate to do this, but we're seeing a little bit of jerkiness in there in the stream, and we do not want to interfere with the race while we're here in practice. We are going to step away here for just a minute, as it looks like we may be losing focus here on the race and dropping some frames. So give us just a minute or two. We're going to try to get that fixed real fast, and we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. Again, we will be right back here in just a few moments. Alright guys, we're back here. Again, there has been an issue with iRacing, so we do apologize with that. For some reason or another, you have to completely close the sim and come back in. Otherwise, you lose frame rates, and that's why y'all are seeing it real choppy there, as I was losing frame rate. So we do apologize for having to step away, but we are back now. Again, we have about 5 minutes here in practice before we get into qualifying. So thanks everyone for sticking with us here tonight. I know it's fairly late for some of y'all, but it's not too bad. We're going to have some great racing here. Again, everybody on the track right now as it is cycling through drivers here. So why not? Let's put the driver bar up real fast and let you get a feel for who's here. As you see, Sean Brightsman did show up here. So Sean Brightsman is going to be running the new leader onboard camera here tonight. You see some more cars spinning. We've got about 20 or so drivers here tonight, so it's going to be an exciting night of racing. See, we do have George Gibbs in chat with us, so welcome to chat. Thanks for tuning in. As again, we have just a few minutes left here in practice before we move on to qualifying. We were just talking about all the upcoming events. We have a ton of events coming up here. So if you have not subscribed to MaxSpeedTV, please do so. We are getting very close to 5,000 subscribers. And when we do, we will give a big shout out to all the fans out there. We'll be definitely giving y'all some cash prizes and other stuff, along with the drivers in there. So fans and drivers both win. As again, we are here in practice, so stay tuned for that. We'll be announcing that shortly as closer we get to 5,000 subscribers, and we are pretty close. I believe we're at about 4,500 now. We have been gaining a lot of subscribers here lately, so again, be staying tuned for that. As Brian Barnes did show up, so a few drivers showing up here. Donald Swayfield's going to show up. Brian Barnes is going to be here. And again, Sean Brightson did get in here as well, so didn't know if he was going to make it or not. But he indeed did make it here tonight. So we'll see who all is going to come away. Right now, Scott Mann in the 90 car is the fastest one on the track. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him throughout the night to see how he does. But again, we have about 2.5 minutes here, about a minute 40 to go. We are going to hop away and go to the national anthem. And then we will come right back into qualifying as they start to take to the track. So that is what's going to be coming up here shortly. So let's go on board here. We do have a few drivers. We have Jeff Stabnow not on the track right now. We'll take a look. Sean Brightsman is here. So why not? Let's go on board with him for just a few moments here. As again, we are on the onboard camera for Highway. Again, we will try to talk to these drivers during cautions. If we have any, I'm sure we'll have at least one or two. So we will go with some of these drivers here and get a word in with them during the race. But that's all coming up here shortly. So if you're in chat, let us know who are you rooting for. Do you have a favorite driver here tonight? Again, let us know in chat who you have, who your pick to win as well. As soon as KR gets here, we'll do that as well. So we got about a minute 53 here, so we are going to go back to our main camera here for scenic. So again, we're just going to float here, but we'll be right back here in just a few moments after the national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are back here. Qualifying again is underway. Green flag is officially waving, so we'll see who comes out first on to the track as you're watching the SimStar Motorsports 100 presented by Highway Equipment Company. Again, so far nobody has taken to the track, so we'll see who is going to be the first one to roll out here in just a few moments. There we go, and it looks like Carl Burke is going to get to the end of the pit road. We'll see if Carl Burke is going to be the first. He is indeed. Carl Burke is going to roll out to start his first laps here in qualifying. Again, they have 2 laps. Set the fastest lap they can. Looks like Gary Nichols is going to roll out onto the track as well. So we'll keep a close eye on everyone here as best we can. Case Hinkins is going to be coming out as well as Matt Henry, Andy Vogt. So everybody's starting to roll out, making some last-minute changes to those cars. Again, Carl Burke should be the first one to put in the time as he was the first one on the track. This is not the open dog leg for anyone that is wondering out there. They have to stay above those cones so they cannot go below or they will get a black flag. That is going to be something we will keep an eye on here tonight to see if they can stay above that yellow, or those cones. Essentially, that yellow line is what it is. As Carl Burke's going to put in a 27.917 for his first lap, as he's going to keep going here. It looks like everybody else is just about ready to put in some times. Case Hinkins, Andy Vogt. There's Case Hinkins putting in a time of a 27.541 to take him to the top of the charts. And got a solid black paint job there tonight. So no sponsor, so if anybody's looking to sponsor, he is the fastest one so far here in qualifying. Andy Vogt running a 27.589 to put himself in second place at the moment. We'll see if he can get any better on his second lap, and we'll see that check in. Matt Henry currently third fastest with a 27.910 as David Heath is going to take it to third now and drop Matt Henry one spot with a 27.797. And the guy who never wins, so he says, he has won 2 races this season, so he is currently sitting in the catbird seat here with a pole position 27.484, the only 27.4 so far here in qualifying. It looks like see, somebody's gonna move up here. We'll see who it is. Gonna be David Applegate, jumping to 5th place with a 27.824. So a good time for him as well. We'll see if any of these guys can get up there. As there's going to be Mark Walls and that new leader, number 29, it's Chevrolet, taking it to the top with a 27.429. Good run for him. Now let's take a look a little further back here. As you see Brad Carpenter sitting in 10th place right now in that number 31 machine. We'll see if he can possibly get any further up. But a top 10 time is not a very bad time indeed, as he's going to cross the line there, and it's not going to do it. 28.776. Gary Nichols, looks like he's going to come back out. It looked like he's going to go to pit road, but he does have a 27.993 to put him in 11th place right now. Chris White has yet to come out onto the track in that SimStar Motorsports Toyota Camry, but again, he is sitting there. Brad Cornell is going to come out in the number 18 right now. Again, that is a Ford Mustang here tonight. He is representing Ford, and we'll look to see him power to the top of the charts here in just a few moments. We'll check in with him again. Scott Mann's going to come out in the number 90 Chevrolet. Again, he put together a fantastic run here in practice, and he did get into the top 5, so we'll be looking to see him as it looks like we do have KR with us here. So KR, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Hi.
Oh, first off, welcome. How was the other broadcast? You had some 3-wide rallycross racing.
I did. 3-wide was at the Daytona long configuration for the Global Rallycross. Some great racing there. The feature, the main event, was 10 laps, and at no point in time was anyone safe. The final lap, the leader had a 10-second lead, lost it on the jump, and almost lost the whole race.
Wow, it sounds like it was exciting, and you're coming in just in time for some more exciting news. Scott Mann just took to the top of the charts with a 27.383, the only 27.3 second lap here. I was just talking about how fast he was in practice, and he's going to put it to the top of the charts here for qualifying as well.
I see one of the drivers has not completed a lap who I like to keep an eye on. That's Chris White. If I remember correctly, Chris White has won a couple of times here in this Xfinity series.
He has indeed. He's also the points leader right now, so I'm pretty sure he's going to qualify. He has been notorious for being a late qualifier here, as he is pulling out onto the track while we're watching. Sean Brightsman here has not put in the lap, but he's about to here in just a second. But again, we will definitely have to keep a close eye on both of these drivers, as right there he will put in a time. We'll see. It's going to be a 27.455 to put him in third place, but again, like you said, Chris White is coming out onto the track right now in that SimStar Motorsports Camry.
Yes, Chris White is one of the ones I like to watch here in the Xfinity car. Jeff Stabnow, we like to talk about him. We like to give him a hard time, but he's a very smooth driver when it comes to these Xfinity cars. He likes the super speedways, so this is a bit of a short track. It's kind of a big short track, but with the change in the layout, and kind of has 3 distinct corners, not quite like Pocono, but definitely not a true oval. It feels a lot like a short track, so Jeff is going to have some work cut out for him tonight.
He definitely is. And this track, I believe I got it mistaken with Pocono, which we're getting tomorrow, actually, a redone one. But this track is, I think, getting a rescan or a redo too, as it's a lot different. The flag stand's going to be moved down. I believe they're taking out the dog leg. So we're not getting this tomorrow like I was thinking we were. We are getting a new Pocono track, which they will be running later this season. So we're definitely going to see something interesting, as we're going to have a lot of new features coming to iRacing here tomorrow morning.
So a big update getting ready to hit iRacing. It's going to kick off tomorrow morning. A lot of people get discouraged because iRacing goes down and they don't pay attention to it. Fortunately, when all of this happens, I'm usually at work. So when I come home, first thing I do is fire up the computer and download the update.
Yeah, it is down. It'll probably be down for about 3, maybe 4 hours. It's a pretty big update. I believe like 4 or 5 new vehicles coming out. So there's going to be a lot of changes here. Good news is for the people here at the Northwest Xfinity Series, I don't think too much is going to change. I know I believe the setups for the season are going to change just a little bit here, so they may have to adjust some stuff here for this fixed series. But the truck series, they're not getting affected too much, so I don't see too much of a problem there. But we don't want to talk about dirt too much, as this is obviously an asphalt series, but a lot of new stuff coming, including some new dirt tracks. We're actually getting a cushion on dirt, so that's going to make it really interesting here on MaxSpeedTV to see just how much that changes the broadcast. Obviously with new Pocono, that's going to change the broadcasting here, as well as we get new tracks. So it's always exciting getting new toys and getting to broadcast with those new toys.
New toys is always a good time. I do enjoy the new content that comes out from iRacing. Each season is 12 weeks long, and then we get what we call week 13, and with week 13 it's kind of a free-for-all, and we're getting ready to hit that starting tomorrow when the servers go down. And if you haven't been a part of Week 13, a lot of people in iRacing like to describe it as a good time to go outside.
Yes, it is very. It's a perfect time to go outside. It's good as far as we get new stuff. But I would highly recommend if you're going to join. You want to join during Week 13, obviously, if you're getting new to iRacing, because it gives you time to get in here and start fresh on an actual season, a 12-week season. But getting into like the Carb Cup or something like that where it doesn't count, it is a total nightmare. I'm not going to lie. It's craziness. As the checkered flag is waving here, so we're getting ready for the race. But, yeah, Week 13 is a good week to go outside, do some laundry, whatever you got to do. It's craziness on here with everybody piling into, like 3 races that you can do.
It's, yeah. What can you say about Week 13 that hasn't been said?
Yeah.
I mean, really. It's full of insanity. If you try and do the official races, you always end up a little butthurt. And they have a lot of fun races, but the reason why they do it is to work out the kinks and the bugs with all the new content. And with the big patch that's coming out, I'm always very thankful for it.
Yeah, as I am indeed thankful too. Looks like we had some issues there a little bit with somebody glitching, but they're taking to the grid, so that means it's time to get to racing. So we don't have too many cars here. You want to run through that HRE Motorsports starting grid for us?
I sure can. On pole will be Scott Mann, turning a 27.382. Fastest car out there. Chris White, second. One of the ones I'm watching here tonight. He's turned to 27.412. So that's your front row. Second row, Mark Walls and Sean Brightsman. Third row, Jeff Stabnow and Case Hinks. Fourth row, Andy Vogt and Brett Johnson. Fifth row is going to be David Heath and David Applegate. So the battle of the Davids coming out of row 5. Row 6, Matt Henry and Tom Green. Carl Burke and Brad Carpenter are going to make up row 7. Row 8 is Gary Nichols and Brad Cornell. Row 9, Brian Barnes and Ray Forner. And the final row of row 10 is going to be Scott Hutchinson and Donald Swaffield. Those guys didn't qualify. The final 2 rows did not take the qualifying time. And it's not the first time we've seen Brian Barnes do this.
It's not. And look at that perfect timing. Pace car is diving off, and there it is. Green flag is out. We're racing here for the first time. 100 laps is all we have. 27-second laps. We'll be done here. 2 laps every minute. It is not going to take long. And I didn't see too many people spinning out here in practice or crashing, so this could go green for the most part.
It very well could. A little bit of housekeeping. David Heath was given an EOL penalty. Mark Walls gets sideways there.
Yeah, definitely just watch that. And it looks like Sean Brightsman is going to lose several spots too. He's all the way back down to 14th. I'm not sure if he spun out or if he just checked up to try to avoid the 29. Thought there was going to be a wreck and let up a little bit. But he does have some damage in the left side quarter panel of that car.
Brightsman starting 4th all the way down to 13th in a matter of moments. So he's got his work cut out for him. He'll be able to recover though. He's early in this race, got lots of time left.
Yeah, he definitely does. And again, I was talking about your leader, Scott Mann. He has led so far 2 laps, going to be his 3rd lap this time. He was very fast in practice. I believe Mark Walls may have outran him there, but at the last second. But Mark Walls is sitting right now back and forth after the little spin as we're watching him come across the line to start lap number 4. So it's going to be interesting. We saw just there a little bit of a spin, but no caution came out. They recovered from it. So if they keep that trend up, again, I really think we may have one maybe 2 cautions here tonight.
These guys are going to be getting on this throttle. This track is going to be slick. And it's one of these tracks, it's one of the tracks where you have to really back up your corners. You have to get out of the throttle a lot sooner than what you kind of expect. So we're going to see some drivers overdriving these corners. And when you start overdriving it, you overheat that right front. Next thing you know, you got a lot of wheel into it, and it's going to snap loose. And really, turn 4 is going to be the big one where it's going to jump out and bite these guys.
It really is. And we were talking earlier. We were listening in the pits during literally what you'd call a driver's meeting. They were talking with each other per se, but they don't have the open dog leg. That actually might have been a mistake. They thought they had the open dog leg, so they were practicing with it open. So imagine having a big chunk of the track cut out here, and if you were using that to gain an advantage, it's just gone. So a simple oversight, nobody at fault really. It does happen. There's so many variations of this track. You pick the wrong one, and in this case, it actually took part of the track away.
So just a little kink, but you know, these guys are professional iRacing drivers, very professional. No, they're not professional. Most of these guys are just doing this for fun. None of them are getting paid to be out here, but they're good drivers. And you know how you can tell a good driver is they adapt and overcome no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, they really can. So it's really interesting to see who's going to come out on top. I don't believe we've had too many of the same winner here. We'll go look at their schedule real fast. Our winners have been for the 3 races for Corey Walters, Chris White, and actually Chris White won last week, so he's won 2 in a row, and he's out front right now. So can Chris White make it 3 in a row here, as he won the Nest 150 and the Walls Beard Co 125 at Atlanta and Vegas? Can he win the race that he is sponsoring here at Phoenix International Raceway?
You know, as far as some of these drivers go, there kind of seems to be a little bit of a trend. These slick tracks, Atlanta and Phoenix, hard to keep your tires fresh, keep them strong, keep them underneath you. And the same car seems to be popping up. Same cars in the top 5 seem to keep popping up on these tracks. And you look through your top 5, they're kind of the same cars once. Oh, as Mark Walls gets really sideways coming off turn 4.
Yeah, that's the second time he has got way out of shape. He got the thing completely sideways nearly. Somehow both times keeping it off the wall and nobody else getting into him, as he was right there with Case Hinkins in third, and he is going to lose a ton of ground as he's now 1.733 seconds behind Case Hinkins in third place, and he's got the 7 of Brett Johnson, and here comes his teammate in the number 24 New Leader Chevrolet right behind him, just about I'd say 8 car lengths off of him.
I want to give a quick shout out to Andy Vogt. He's running 7th place in the 10 machine, doing a great job right now. I want to keep my eye on him as well. He's one of these guys that every once in a while gets a great run. He's had a bit of bad luck in our opening races this season, and it's kind of spoiled some of his great runs. But here he is sitting in 7th place early on here at Phoenix. So hopefully he can avoid some bad luck and maybe make some good luck for himself and pull out top 5, maybe even a win.
Definitely, let's hope so. Another driver, 2 more drivers really back here a little bit further, 10th and 11th. David Applegate right now running in 10th place right now, so good, a good top 10 for him right now anyway. Checking in with Sean Brightsman again. He started up at the front. Something happened. I'm not sure if he just got hit, but he does have damage. Looks like to both sides of that car now. The front of that car pretty heavily damaged in that highway Toyota Camry. But he does have quite a bit of damage to that car. And again, damage will slow you down. It's not aerodynamically. But if he damaged that engine at all, he's going to have to kind of baby that. He doesn't want to blow that engine up So currently sitting in 11th. We'll see if he can move up throughout the race.
I went back and I watched the replay. Mark Walls and Sean Brightsman got together on the opening lap right after the dog leg, and Brightsman got out of throttle, gathering himself in, and a lot of cars drove down underneath him.
Yeah, they did. He lost a lot of time. But again, we will have to do pit stops here, so we'll be looking at him. I have a feeling he'll get in and get some damage repaired, and he'll get back out here. But right now, as we're watching Sean Brightsman, your leader still is Chris White. And he has got a pretty sizable lead right now, 0.899 over Scott Mann and Case Hinkin. So he's pulling away to a sizable lead at the moment.
Chris White, for sure, one of my favorite picks to win this race. I don't like picking race winners. I have a little thing about it because racing is a fickle lady. You could be running out front, having the best race of your life, go to lap a car, and that lap car just takes you out. So I always have a hard time picking them, but man, it's a solid bet that Chris White is going to be up front, and here he is running up front once again. Scott Mann in second, Case Heekins third, Mark Walls fourth. So we're all kind of picking up right where we left off from last week.
We are indeed, and we'll take a look again here at our caution chart. We've had 0 cautions here. We're on lap 18 already, so here in probably about 3 to 5 laps or so, roughly, we'll be at the 25 lap mark. We'll be a quarter way done, and we have not seen a caution so far. There's still 83 laps to go, a lot of laps, now 82. But again, at 2 laps a minute here, caution free, this race, I have a feeling it's going to go caution free at this point.
Well, that's the thing about racing. We could get into a long green flag run and then have a caution, and cautions like to breed cautions. So when the field stacks back up after one, anything can happen on these restarts. But right now, all these guys running good, clean laps. John Brightsman just broke into the top 10, so he's charging back through the field after his opening lap incident. And I'll tell you another one, Gary Nichols sitting in 9th in the 8 machine. He's not no slouch here at Phoenix. If he can find a little bit of time, maybe get another caution and allow himself to get caught back up to our leader Chris White, I'd be watching that 8 car of Gary Nichols.
Yeah, I would be too. And one that I saw a little bit earlier in practice being very quick was Carl Burke in the 53. Again, he was quick in practice, but currently he is back here sitting in 13th, so got his work cut out for him at the moment. But I do think we'll see him move a little bit forward throughout the night. And 2 we want to keep an eye on is sitting back in 17th in the 4 car. He never qualifies, but he comes in here and runs good, but he's got some damage there to that number 4 machine. And not sure what happened there to that Chevrolet, but he is your second place person in points. Currently 14 points out of the lead from Chris White, but he's back in 17th position right now.
Brian Barnes having a rough go here at Phoenix. He doesn't like to qualify. We've seen him do it time and again here so far, but he normally starts working his way to the front, but I'm seeing a lot of fall off. His fastest lap was lap 3 of it, a 28.134. His last lap. In fact, we'll just score this one. Lap 22 at a 29.5. So over a second drop off from his fastest lap. So he's losing a bit of ground. Let's compare that to Chris White, our leader. Chris White is doing a great job. His fastest lap was a 27.7, and he is turning a 29.004 for his last lap.
Yeah,
so
he is indeed, and not to cut you off there, I apologize for that. Right as you're talking about that, we may have a battle for the lead because Scott Mann is right on his back bumper.
Scott Mann looking to the inside as he goes to the front stretch. Diving down into turn 1, gonna make the move here. Chris White gonna let him take it. So new leader Scott Mann back to the front.
Yeah, he is doing good here. He led 5 laps. and now he's going to lead his 6th one here. And Paul, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but that was right as we flipped back to him. They were duking it out here for the lead, but it really wasn't much of a battle in all honesty, as that Chevrolet overpowered that Camry quite a bit, and again, he took that lead fairly quickly, but I may wonder if Chris White is not saving something for later in this race.
If I remember right, last week we watched these two swap the lead on tire run, on one tire run at least 3 times. So I'm not really sure that these guys are saving anything. It's just that at certain points in times, track changes, tires change, and one driver will find something just a little bit before the next one, and then the other one will follow suit, and they just like to swap this lead back and forth.
Yeah, and on here on the asphalt racing, it's the same concept as it is over in the dirt world. Is first place, obviously, that's where you need to be to win the race, as that where Scott Mann is right now. But he had the better position in 2nd place. It's, in a sense, it's almost better to be in 2nd place than it is first, because you can see where he's going, and you can see if you're catching him. You can be like, okay, I caught him here if I did this in turn 1. I lost him here in turn 1. You can kind of see where you're gaining on him to make a move like that. Once you're out front, you don't know what those people behind you are figuring out, sitting behind you to try to get by you. So first place is a very scary spot to be.
It is, and especially when it comes down to making pit stops. Not just picking a line on the track, but when you make a pit stop. If someone short pits, they have the opportunity to leapfrog you. You're kind of stuck out front. Everyone's got their eyes on you. Your target is on your back. They're watching you like a hawk. And every little move you make, they are ready to counter it and take advantage of any mistake, or, you know, and it doesn't even have to be a big mistake. It could be a mistake you don't even know you have made until you have lost the lead.
Yeah, and little mistakes like that, you talk about just the line. You may think you're running a good line until you see the person behind you catching you at such a high rate, and you realize, oh man, I'm on the wrong line. I need to find some speed somewhere. And like you said, it's not a mistake that you know you're making, or even maybe not even classify it as a mistake, as just not knowing what they know. So knowledge is key here. So again, you know, some people say, oh, it's just a game. No, this is a simulator. These guys have to plan on fuel, tires. They have to try to find the fastest line. I mean, it really, as far as the money cost goes, is not as expensive as being in a real Xfinity car, but the mental aspect of it is just as demanding as the real thing.
You know, it might not be as threatening, life-threatening situation racing online, but you know, I've had the experience in real life racing, as you have, Charles, and I can tell you there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of the same mental stuff is involved in this. The only thing that's really different is as far as I'm concerned, the life-threatening aspect. And this is crazy. I never would have thought how close you could get this simulator, and we get closer with each and every patch to real-life racing.
It really does, and I've heard people complain. Chuck Kemper over in the No Excuses series, the short track series, your arms actually get worn out from this. So, I mean, it is a bit of a workout. Not to sound, you know, like cheesy or anything, but it really is. These things can be a workout, especially the dirt side. And doing 100 laps of this track, just making turn after turn after turn 100 times, it really does wear you out. These guys are tired when they get done here, so you can't discredit that. I mean, it's a sport, even if it's a e-sport.
It is an e-sport, and it's gaining notoriety, getting bigger and bigger each and every year. And I'll tell you what, though, let's talk a little bit about this race. Scott Mann has almost a 2-second lead now over Chris White.
He does indeed. Chris White, I have a feeling we're going to see him come back. I have a feeling you're at this point here, we're 35 laps in, now 36 laps in. As Chris Mann, he may have just a really good setup. But again, these are all fixed setups, so they're on the same setup. So I'm curious. Again, I really think some of these guys may be conserving just a little bit here. Because if they're thinking like I'm thinking right now, yes, this race, you're going to have to pit. But 37 laps in now as Scott Mann crosses the line one more time. So again, lap 37, caution-free so far. If this thing goes green all the way, I know exactly what Scott Mann's probably thinking. He's probably thinking, I need to get out here, get as big a gap as I can, so that if I have to pit under green, you know, I have a bit of a cushion there.
Pitting under green is always a hairy situation because you never know when that yellow is going to come out. You're going to get a combination of fresh tires versus old tires, and the speed difference is going to be huge here at Phoenix. Like I said, Scott Mann, his fastest lap time is a 27.712. He's just turned to 29.2, so almost 2 seconds slower. So imagine that on a green flag pit stop situation, another car going 2 seconds a lap faster. The closing speeds are going to be tremendous here once we get into these green flag pit stops.
It does indeed. It will be very interesting, and that cushion or padding there could help you very well if you miss your pit stall or have to back up. That 2 seconds could be crucial. As you see Scott Mann right now, we're watching him as he's putting these lap cars or potential cars a lap down, as he did just put Tom Green 1 lap down. And look who's in front of him. That's why we're not leaving him right now to go through this field. He's about to put Brian Barnes down in the 4. Your second place person in points, he is just about to go a lap down.
Brian Barnes having a dismal showing here. Not what we expected from our second place points contender. And we've watched him, come flying through the pack. Excuse me. And, it takes him some time, but he always manages to work his way to the front. But this time, he is lounging around in the back, sitting 17th spot. Hasn't made any moves to get to the front of this field.
I really think that damage is slowing him down on that right or left side of that car pretty bad, as it's pretty torn up in the front. The back doesn't look too bad, and the right side doesn't look too bad. And this is going to get interesting now, as you see the 90 of Scott Mann trying to put the 26 a lap down. That is Ray Forner. He is going to put him a lap down as our first caution is going to come out, and it's going to be up front. Chris White involved, and the 20 of Case Hinkins involved.
So Chris White, as I'm looking at it, was running 3rd place. Case Hinkins 2nd. Looks like a little bit of contact with the 77 by Case Hinkins. Chris White. Oh man, big pile up.
Yeah, we're watching it here now. There it is. The 20 just barely touches the 77. And it looked like actually the 35 of Chris White just scraped the wall. I'm not even sure they actually made contact. He may have just been trying to avoid it and get as high as he could and misjudged it. Got into the outside wall. And then when he, on coming down off the wall, got into the nose of the 20. So almost 2 different instances there for the caution, as we had almost a caution under a caution.
So the field's starting to form up. We're on lap 43 of 100, almost halfway. I expect everyone to come down to pit road.
I do indeed as well, as you see some lap cars going out, but other than that, everybody's coming down pit road here. So again, everyone's going to come down pit road right there. You see them filtering down, nobody staying out. Everybody was probably screaming, throw a water bottle on the track, something. We want some fresh Goodyear tires, and they are going to come down pit road and get those now. And once they come out of pit road, we might tell you we can't get a word in with one of these guys. We'll see if we can't get in Mark Walls or Chris White or Jeff Stabnow once they come out, we'll see where they kind of filter out here. Maybe get a word in with Chris White after that wreck.
Scott Man pulling off pit road here. He's going to win the race off pit road. Mark Wall's going to be second.
It looks like Chris White is still on pit road, so he is going to fall a few spots, it looks like. As we'll see here, we'll go to our main camera. There he is. He's actually going to stay in fourth, so good job for him. If we can't see, maybe we can get him in the booth real fast. Let's go on board with him and have a little chat with him, see what happened there.
Mr. White, you there with your ears?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first off, I was curious. We saw, did you get into the outside wall, or did you get into the 20? Couldn't tell from the angle we saw. I'm not sure if y'all made contact or were you just trying to avoid him, and that's what got you into the wall, and then essentially into the 20 after that.
You know, the 20 car had a run on me. Tires are wearing out. 20 car got around me. And I'm not sure what happened with him in the 77. It looked like he might have got into the 77, and it's just a little reaction there. I think I scraped the wall trying to avoid that and ultimately ended up a part of it. Apologize to those got caught up in that. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it does happen from time to time. It looks like you got some damage repaired. Sitting in third place, so not a bad spot to be sitting after being involved in a caution. Looks like you got a fast car here tonight. Hopefully we'll see you in the top 3, at least maybe getting a win here tonight. But while we have you here, any quick shout-outs you want to give before we go green flag racing again?
Yeah, the car's falling off on the longer run. Hopefully we can hang on here and get a top 3. It'd be nice to put this car in victory lane again for the 3rd straight week. Always got to thank the guys that put this series on. And again, myself with SimStar Motorsports sponsoring the race, and we got a new scheme on the car this week. So check out this scheme when the truck series come Thursday night as well.
All right. Well, again, hopefully we'll see you here later tonight. But, Gar, if you want to stick him back in there, it looks like in his channel we're about ready to get this thing going here. We will switch back to our main camera here. Scott Mann fixing to give him the green flag here in just a minute as the pace car lights are off.
So Chris White had to use a fast repair. Keep that in the back of your mind as we get ready to fire off on a green flag. Not quite halfway, but Scott Mann, there he goes, getting on the loud pedal, accelerating down the front stretch with Mark Walls on his outside.
Yeah, this is going to be good here. Again, 47 laps before we had our about 45 before we had our first caution. So again, that is if we continue that trend here. I don't see, I said about 2 cautions, and we are set to probably get right about there as we're looking at our cautions right now. 1 for 4 laps, 2 different lead changes here. The only leaders we've had are Scott Mann and Chris White. As Chris White's got some fresh tires now, we'll definitely be looking to see if he can work his way back to the front. As now we're going to have our 3rd leader, Mark Walls, is going to take to the lead to lead his first lap, and this will be his 2nd if he can hang on to it.
Mark Walls getting a little bit of a gap here as he goes down the backstretch now through 3 and 4. And Chris White starting to look at Scott Mann. So Scott Mann likes to conserve his tires here in an early run. Not one of the fastest guys, but still fast enough. But the yellow flag has come out once again. Caution flag flies.
It looks like it's going to be the 10 of Andy Vogt getting involved. So let's go back and take a look. Alright, the 10 car of Andy Vogt was the one going around, at least that we saw, as we're actually right at the halfway point here. Let's see what happened though. Just got it loose, got it into the outside wall, and they got tagged by the 18 as well. So the 18 of Brad Cornell getting involved. So just a product of getting loose. Like you said earlier, cautions breed cautions, as he's got heavy damage to that number 10 right now.
The other thing I said was that turn 4 is going to be the one that's going to jump up and bite people. And it looked like turn 4 claimed another victim in Andy Vogt.
It did indeed, and that's unfortunate. Turn 4 is so trying to get us. You got people faking it to pit road, but we do have some takers. But not sure. Do you see what I see here towards the front of the field right now?
Yes.
Sean Brightsman, 4th place right now.
Brightsman is working his way through the field. He had that mishap in the opening stages of this race, but these 2 quick cautions back to back, and here he is sitting inside the top 5.
He is indeed. And I'm not sure if we have him here with us. Well, let's see. We at least got a lap left here, so you want to pull him up here real fast? Let's get a quick word in with him here before we go racing once again.
Mr. Brightsman, you got your ears on this broadcast booth?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, real fast, looks like we're going to get the green here quickly. Quick caution here. But all the way back down to 14th, after a little contact there early in the race, you're back up to 4th. So, first and foremost, good job getting back up to 4th. Think you have anything for Mark Walls, Scott Mann, or Chris White here tonight?
You know, that's tough. Scott Mann's on rails right now. I know Mark just got around him on the restart, but it looked like Scott was pulling away from the field there, and obviously miring myself back in 14th didn't help me get through the field quick. So, but we're good. Our highway Toyota Camry here will, I think we'll pace these guys and try to save our stuff. So at the end, we got better tires than them.
Well, that is one of the keys here. You got to conserve your tires. So you have something for the end, as we're over halfway done already. This race going very quickly. But we don't want to keep you too long. It looks like we're just about ready to get started. So thanks for joining us in the booth, and with any luck, we'll see you here at the end of the race for a post-race interview.
All right, thanks, guys.
Again, that was Sean Brightsman with that New Way Toyota Highway Toyota Camry here, also sponsored by Walls Beard Co. As we're going to take one more lap. It looks like everyone's getting ready, so we'll see. Yep, the lights are off. KR, we have hadn't got a chance for you here, but you want to do the honors this time and count them down to the green.
I'd love to do so. Real quick, some house cleaning. Brad Cornell involved in this caution flag. He has packed it up, put it in the hauler. He's calling it a night. Andy Vogt took a quick repair and got back out there.
Yeah.
So Mark Walls, our pole sitter, I shouldn't say pole sitter, our leader for this restart was Scott Mann on the outside. Here we go. Pace car getting ready to pull off as these guys head off into turn 3 under yellow. But it's not going to be yellow much longer. Green flag is in the hand of the flagman. And I'll tell you what, I'd be watching for Mark Walls to get a good jump here. But Scott Mann's going to challenge him right back. Scott wants to lead this race, but Mark Walls is getting on the throttle. Big gap opening up. And now they're diving off into turn 1. And Chris White on the inside trying to think about making it 3 wide with Scott Mann and Sean Brightsman.
Yeah, these guys are really starting to push it now. They've seen how long we're going to go green flag running here. And I think that second caution very quickly, more of a fluke, just getting loose here. Everyone's going to keep racing, and they're going to start pushing it a little bit more. I still think we're going to see probably one more caution here tonight. But right now, again, Mark Walls is your race leader in that number 29 new leader Chevrolet. But I'm not sure. Scott Mann has been very quick. Like Brightsman said, is now Sean Brightsman is put that highway Camry to 3rd place. He did get by Chris White. So I really think Chris White is a very strategic driver here. I think he's kind of just playing it back, kind of conserving a little bit, seeing what he can save for later in this race. Because if we do go green, I'm not sure if we'll see him pit again, as they may be able to make it on fuel.
They might be able to, but I think we're going to have another caution before it's all said and done. And I say that because I was watching some replays here. The 8 machine and the 7 machine made a little bit of contact on that first restart.
Yeah, they did indeed. And again, like I said, I agree with that, as there is that one caution, and it's going to be the 10 and the 26. Andy Vogt and Ray Fortner getting together this time.
And I said first caution. What I meant was the most recent caution restart.
Yeah, and apparently we may have jinxed that a little bit, saying the word caution. It brought out a caution. So iRacing listened to us on that end, but again, we'll see what happened here to Ray Fortner and Andy Vogt. There it is. Oh, Andy Vogt already had contact. The 4 getting involved as well, but he got it going. So the 4 getting it up on 2 wheels. The 4 and the 26 actually got together. The 10 of Andy Vogt, he was already involved in a caution earlier, or earlier here in this caution anyway. So again, kind of having 2 cautions within a caution.
We've had 3 cautions pretty much right here in a row, close to this halfway mark. Mark Wall's still out front. A couple guys now staying out. Several guys taking the pit road. Chris White leading the charge on the pit road.
He is indeed. So we'll see here. We're taking a look. Your top 4: Mark Wall, Scott Mann, Sean Breitzman, and Carl Burke not going to pit road. So very interesting there. They're going to try to separate themselves from a different onto a different pit strategy. There's only 15 laps on those tires, so those tires can't be too terribly worn out. So we'll see how they stack up here. Again, I think if those tires are worn out at all, the best seat in the house is Mark Wall's, because if those tires are quite a bit slower than the newer tires, he can get a huge lead right away, and they have to fight through those other 3 cars before they can get to him. So he can get a little bit of a lead while they're battling back there, and with any chance a caution comes out, then he can get some fresh tires and be right on cycle with everybody else again.
Just watch the race come off of pit road. Gary Nichols in the 8 machine looks like he's letting a lot of cars by. I think he might have got a speeding penalty as multiple cars drove on by him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate if he did indeed. So let's look here and see what we can find out anyway. See if we can see anything. There we go. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything, but that does not mean something did not happen here. Again, a lot of people did come down to pit road, though. It's unfortunate if he did get a penalty. I don't see it here, but I'm not sure if this would, in our back in here, would even show us a penalty. But that would be unfortunate to see is at the back now.
So Mark Wall's sitting in front of this field. Once again, we're going to have another restart with Mark Walls, Scott Mann, Sean Breitzman, and now Carl Burke sitting in 4th place.
Yeah, it definitely is, as we just got the 1 lap to green, so we're going to go green this time by, and it's going to be good here. Lap, 61 of 100. We're going to go green flag racing to start 62. We are well over the halfway point now. And I really not sure if we're going to have any more cushions. I didn't think we'd have more than 2. We're at 3 right now, but overall, I mean, we've only had here, real quick look at it, 12 laps under caution out of 61. That is not very many laps in the grand scheme of things.
No, it's not, but we're getting close now to the end of the race. We've gone over the halfway point. We're on the downhill slide. Mark Walls has control of the field. Once this pace car pulls off, Scott Mann on his outside. Walls got a good jump on this last restart. Gonna try and copy it again, and he does. Breitzman on the inside of Mann here, and Walls is gonna get a gap.
He is indeed, as we see him come barreling into turn 1, side by side, 2, 3 deep, almost 4 deep. It's like we said, the closing laps coming up. They're going to start pushing stuff a little bit more than they did earlier in this race, as right now they are doing just that. But Mark Walls with a pretty good lead, but he is loving what he's seen in the mirror right now. Those two side by side, Scott Mann and Sean Breitzman, you know, they're going to keep battling. That is good news for him. They're going to wear those tires out, but it looks like Scott Mann's going to take second over. So now Sean Breitzman is going to have to battle with Jeff Stabnow back in 4th position.
Case Hinkins in the 20 machine, we saw him in a little bit of a scuffle earlier, but now he's sitting in 7th place. He's making his charge back towards the front. Oh, we got Andy Vogt spinning.
And that will bring out a caution as he is going to spin it out there. So let's go back and take a look, see just what happened to him. And that is unfortunate for Andy Vogt. Second time he's been involved in a caution here. We'll see if he had any help this time. Not looking like it so far. He did get below the yellow line there, but I'm not sure. They go 3 wide for a second. Oh, it just clips the 19 and then ends up spinning himself out. So he just barely clips the 19 of Matt Henry. Matt Henry was able to recover from it just a little bit better, though.
Matt Henry taking some heavy damage when he's tagged the outside wall, though. Don't know if he's used his quick repair, but when he comes down to pit road, we're about to find out.
He is indeed not much damage, so even if he hasn't, we'll see. Well, no, he has more damage than I thought to the back of that car. So definitely, if he still has that, he is definitely going to want to use it here tonight. But looking back up front, still Mark Wald out front. He has now led 18 laps, 19 for Chris White and 27 for Scott Mann. So Scott Mann putting a dominant performance here. Can he get back up to the front and win this race is really the question here tonight.
Just to do some housekeeping here, Matt Henry did use a quick repair. He's rolling off pit road now. Andy Vogt had already used his, so he's sitting on pit road and going to have to fix his damage the long way.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. As you see him right there on pit road, he's going to have a lot of damage to fix in the back of that car. That is never what you want to see here. Having to sit on pit road, he'd much rather be out on the track, as he is now going to be at least 1 lap down as they're coming by him.
Andy Vogt losing a lap here. Another notable person, Brian Barnes, scored a lap down and looks like he is sitting on pit entrance. Don't know what was going on with that, but his car looks wadded up in all 4 corners.
Yeah, he's had a not so good night here tonight. So again, that car is pretty heavily damaged. As he's going to park it there. We'll see if he comes back out onto the track or not.
Our leader, Mark Walls. 2nd place, Scott Mann. Sean Breitzman in 3rd. Jeff Stabnow 4th. And Carl Burke going to round out your top 5. And we got through almost the first half of this race caution free. But then here we've just had a whole lot of cautions right in a row, and the lights have gone out on the pace car. Field's going to start forming up, and I'll tell you what, Charles, I think you do a better job at calling these starts than I do.
Well, indeed. Well, I don't know if I'd agree with that, but we'll go ahead and call it down, as that pace car is just about ready to dive off. You see the 4 coming out of pit road. So they'll be diving off this time. So the 4 is going to try to book it and see if he can't get back around. That is Brian Barnes doing about 115, trying to catch the spear of this field before he goes another lap down. There is the field right now. We have 16 cars on the track right now. All but 2 of them on the lead lap. Andy Vogt and Brian Barnes, 2 laps down and 1 lap down. But again, you're just about ready to get the green flag. Once again, you're watching the SimStar Motorsports 100 presented by Highway Equipment Company. And there it is. A pace car is off. Green flag is back out once again. And we are racing here again just after a kind of string of cautions, you might say. So we'll see if we can go green here. We had a huge 54-lap green run. Then cautions right in a row there, 3 of them, as now we have a lot of battling going on back here in the back for about 8th position.
Matt Henry, who we saw have to take a fast repair, here he is sitting in 9th place. Chris White, 10th, looking to try and make some moves to get through this field, but he's sitting in 10th, not where he wants to be, but he's on some fresher tires than the rest of the field now. He has made his pit stop on this last yellow, and he's looking to work through the field. Everyone in front of him is on older tires.
Yeah, that is true. And we just got word from the pits of Andy Vogt, engine damage, so they are going to park it here for the night, as to not get out here, laps down, and get in the way of anybody else. So that's unfortunate, but again, that was just sent to us from the pits, that he again has engine damage, and he's going to park it here for tonight.
That leaves Brian Barnes, the only car 1 lap down, out on the track. 15 cars on the lead lap, 16 cars running still in this event. So if we get another caution, Brian Barnes will get the wave around and get his lap back.
He will indeed. And that's all if the leaders don't catch him again before we get another caution. If they catch him, they're going to put him another lap down, as that is how he got a lap down to begin with. It wasn't from the caution there earlier. It was actually that they caught him and put him a lap down. As his last lap was a 28.5 compared to a 27.9 for your leader, Mark Walls. So he is running them down every lap. He is reeling him in just a little bit more.
Do a quick check up on the 8 machine of Gary Nichols. I mentioned that he got some damage in one of the restarts, had some contact with the 7 machine of Brett Johnson. Gary Nichols did not use a fast repair to get that fixed. He's sitting in 6th spot, just behind Jeff Stabnow, and knocking on the door of a top 5 here.
He is indeed, and well, look, I bet he'll get up there too. We'll just have to keep a close eye on that. But right now, Scott Mann is just not quite able to get up there like he was. I really think that car for Scott Mann, the 90, is really good on the long runs, and that was when he was really starting to shine. That's when he led a lot of laps here. Is now Mark Walls and Scott Mann have both led 27 laps, but this time by it's going to be 1 extra lap for Mark Walls. So really, as to who leads the most lap, that is not determined yet. But right now it is going to go to Mark Walls for 28 laps led. But I have a feeling we may see that 90 come back to life here if we get a long green flag run.
The 90 could come back to life, but somebody who I'm watching is the 20 machine of Case Hinkins. He's on 16 lap tires. The top 3 are on 31 lap tires, so Case Hinkins a little bit fresher tires, and doing a great job chasing them down here. He had his issues earlier and has recovered nicely, and now looking at maybe getting inside the top 3.
He is indeed. And another one just like him, Sean Brightsman, 3rd place right now. He has put together a huge run. We just got done talking to him. He said it himself. He's trying to conserve a little bit. So I have a feeling he's probably a little bit faster than he's letting on here. So we'll see if he can get by these two. Scott Mann in 2nd and Mark Walls in 1st. In the closing laps, as we're actually over 3/4 done with this race. As we're on lap 77 of 100, fixing to be on lap 78.
Chris White in the 35 machine took tires on this last caution, and here he is trying to fight his way around the 8 machine of Gary Nichols. Not making his way through the field very fast here. He's going to run out of time at this rate, but coming up on about 20 laps to go, Chris White mired in the middle of the pack here.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he'd love to get that SimStar Motorsports Toyota Camry back to the front. He has been there. He led 19 laps already, but so far has been unable to get back to the front after getting into the outside wall trying to avoid a wreck. But he did repair that car, so he doesn't have any damage. Just unable to get by some of these cars that do have damage. And sitting right in front of him, 2 cars in front of him actually, is Jeff Stabnow, who again we saw very quick in practice and in qualifying, but he's currently just in the top 5.
Yeah, Jeff Stabnow running 5th here at Phoenix. Not really been a factor as far as leading the race or leading laps. That's been all about Mark Walls, Scott Mann, and Chris White. But I'll tell you, Jeff Stabnow, as we get closer to the end of the race, be watching for this guy. He's crafty, he's wily. He's going to find a way to make his way towards the front a little bit closer when that checkered flag falls.
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see him just a few more spots up, at least one. I just don't know. Case Hinkins has been so fast right now. Again, running a solid black car here tonight. Doesn't have any sponsors, so if anyone out there is looking to sponsor a car, he's definitely a driver that I wouldn't mind putting my name on. Sitting there currently in 4th place. And if you look here, if we take a little bit wider angle, those are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They have quite the gap over 5th place right now of Stabnow by about 1.899 seconds, but separate 4th and 5th right now.
Very close here in the top 5 spots. Top 4 spots. Jeff Stabnow has a little bit of a gap to Case Hinkins, so that has to be worked out. But Chris White closing in on Jeff Stabnow right now. Wow. Sorry, my brain went left and I should have gone right.
But he is really amazing. So far, he's got a little bit of a gap. But again, the gap between those front 4 is just so huge right now, and it looks like it's growing. But again, I'm curious, and we'll see if we can't get it a word in with him during a caution or maybe the post-race here. People like Jeff Stabnow, again, that's where we heard it. They thought it was supposed to be the dogleg in, so they may have been practicing that. Some of these guys that were really quick, were they practicing with the dogleg out? And if they were, is that affecting how they're performing here tonight? They use that as kind of a momentum boost to get a little bit of a faster lap, and they don't have it. That very well could be an issue for some of these guys here tonight.
Very well could be. We are within 20 laps. We're on lap 85 of 100 right now, so about 15 laps to go. And I'll tell you, one of the things I'm watching out for, Mark Walls and Scott Mann, that gap has been kind of steady, but this is about the time that Scott Mann finds a little bit more speed. He likes to conserve. He's got a couple laps on his tires now. And by a couple, I mean we've gotten to the point where the tires are starting to get loosey-goosey.
That is indeed. And the one I'm still keeping an eye on, Sean Breitzman. He's all over the back bumper of the 90 of Scott Mann. So the question is, can both of these guys hold off of Breitzman? Obviously, he's fast. He started out front. Unfortunately, early in the race, had contact which pushed him back. So that was no doing of his own to get pushed back there, as he's trying to make a run here on Scott Mann and just couldn't quite complete it at that time. And they're both catching the 29 right now very quickly.
They have, and it's caused Scott Mann to check up just a little bit. That's allowed Sean Breitzman to get a good run down the backstretch. Going to pass him for second. So put Breitzman in the second, and now he's set his sights on Mark Walls.
I really do think he may get him here. Kind of battle of the sponsors here. Again, this is the SimStar Motorsports 100 presented by Highway Equipment Company. Very interesting to see here. That's who's battling for the lead right now. We have the new leader, Chevrolet, out front being chased down by the Highway Toyota. So again, your two sponsors that are sponsoring this out front right now in two different manufacturers. So is it going to be the new leader Chevrolet, or is it going to be the Highway Toyota Camry? time will tell here. These guys are about ready to start duking it out for the lead as we're approaching the 10 to go here in about 2 laps.
Brightsman all over the back of Mark Walls. Brightsman has stuck his nose trying to look to the inside a couple of times, just unable to get a run to do so. Here goes looking to the inside once again, and looks like he's going to make the pass going into turn 1. Wall's going to leave him room to do so. Brightsman pushing up as they exit turn 1, down through the dog leg. Gonna complete the pass as they get into turn 3, maybe. Wall's doing a great job at keeping Brightsman honest. But here we go down the front stretch.
And we'll see, will he be our 4th leader? Oh, I don't think he's going to. I think, looks like Mark Walls did indeed lead that lap. So Mark Walls out front right now as you're watching it on the leader there. It's now Sean Brightsman leading the race. So these two are duking it out side by side here with 10 laps to go. This is probably the best race we have, and it's for the lead right now with 10 to go. This could get very interesting.
Very well could get interesting. We've had a little bit of a green flag run here. The middle stage of the race, we saw some cautions pop out, but now we've been green flag racing for a while. Sean Brightsman looking to the inside here. Mark Walls hanging tough on the outside, but this is going to be killing Walls' tires doing this. But he's finding some grip on that outside coming out of turn 4. Oh no!
Contact is made, and that is going to send Mark Walls into the inside wall. And we'll see. That car doesn't look too terribly bad considering it just nosedived into the wall, but let's go take a look. I think that really was more on the 29 of Mark Walls, as it looked like he may have just got loose, but like you said, those tires were pretty worn out at that point as we're watching the replay now. It looked like the 29 Mark Walls in that new leader Chevrolet just got way loose. Again, he was on the outside, and those tires had to be pretty worn out hanging on that outside that long.
So I'm watching pit lane here to bring things back to live. Scott Mann on pit road. Only leader pitting for tires. Everyone else deciding to stay out. So this has been devastating for Scott Mann. Might have been a good choice if he had a couple more people come to pit road with him. But so far he is one of the let's just say the top 8 cars all stayed out. Scott Mann went from 2nd to 9th, and he's got some time, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, he does not have it, and we will go racing once again. So we'll probably get about, what, 3 laps here to go green, maybe 2, but I believe it's going to be 3-lap shootout. So again, we will go green racing one more time. Maybe these guys that pitted are kind of thinking these leaders may get together, and if they can avoid the wreck, they can come away with a good finish. Again, Sean Brightson, 50 laps on his tires. Case Hinkins, 35. Chris White, 29. Jeff Stabnow, 43. Gary Nichols, also 36 now. So your top 5 drivers are well into the 30 plus laps, except for Chris White, who only has 30. So out of those top 5, I think Chris White, well, he has the freshest tires by far. But I have a feeling if fresh tires are going to be a key here, out of those top 5, he probably has the best bet, as he has 6 to 21 laps difference, or better tires, than some of these guys up there with him.
So Sean Brightsman in the lead here. He faked pit road, decided against it, pulled back out. He's going to be your leader. We watched him with that opening lap get into some trouble with Mark Walls, lost a lot of ground, but now here he is leading this race.
He is indeed, and I said look out for him. He'd make his way back up to the front. He again is sitting in first place right now. He is actually the least led driver here. He's only led 4 laps. But again, it doesn't matter how many laps you lead here. As long as you lead the last lap, that's really all that matters, as he's doing a fantastic job out front. But again, look right beside him, the number 20 of Case Hinkins, another one we talked about quite a bit today. He is up there, so he has a good shot at it too. As we're actually going to have 4 to go when we get the green.
Gonna have a couple laps left in this race. Guys are gonna start driving into the corner very deep. Not a lot of give and take, so it's gonna be a 4-lap shootout. It would not surprise me to see this thing finish under yellow, but these drivers are some very good drivers, so we could also see this finish under green.
We very well could, as it looks like right about now you're about to see that pace car dive off. There it is. Indeed, as we're gearing up here, they're coming to the start finish, and there it is, green flag back in the air, and a huge start for Sean Brightsman. That's exactly what he needed to do, as I see a lot of cars getting together down at the bottom. The 35, there's a 53 going around. Caution is out, and that is going to end the race here.
That is not what Scott Mann wanted to see. Scott Mann making some huge moves. Already jumped up to 5th spot. And then the yellow is going to come out because of the 53 of Carl Burke getting out of control.
Again, we slightly watched that live just now, or just a while ago. He just got a little loose there. It looked like got into the outside wall. And when he did, he turned it around. So no need, we won't go back and watch that as we watched it live happen. Again, he has one of those that has 53 laps on those tires. Those tires just did not go like he wanted them to. Probably might have spun him just a little bit, and that's going to drop him all the way back to 14th.
So a little bit of an interesting situation. Scott Mann has pulled it behind the wall and gone home.
Interesting. Not sure what happened there. He was 1 lap down now, so I'm not sure what happened to him as to put him a lap down, other than that pit stop. But he was running up front in 2nd place, so I'm not sure. Maybe he realized he wasn't gonna, if the race was over, maybe he realized he couldn't gain any spots, so he was just gonna call it a night. I'm not sure, but again, he like you said, did park it here for the night.
I'm going to go back and look. I'm wondering if he got a black flag for passing under a car, and I don't see that has happened, so not really sure what happened to Scott.
Yeah, I am not sure either. But again, 2 laps to go here. We are not going to go racing again right here. The lights would have already had to been off, and we'd be going green now, as you see them right there. White flag is in the air with the checkered flag, or with the white flag and the yellow flag. It's checkered. Next time by will be the checkered flag.
So Sean Brightsman gonna get the win, doing a great job. Early trouble opening lap, lost a lot of ground all the way back to 14th, 15th spot, and here he is, battled back, gonna win this thing under caution.
He is indeed. He's just about half a track away from doing that. Again, nobody's going to double foul up. We're not going racing again. So not the way you want to get a win, but hey, a win is a win. So he will bring it home here tonight. That will cut Chris White's 2-win streak here to an end, as the checkered flag is coming out. That will do it here for the racing action anyway, as right there he's about to cross the line. There it is. Your race winner here tonight is going to be Sean Brightsman.
Sean Brightsman getting the race win. Case Hinkins 2nd, and rounding out the podium will be Chris White, who did a great job at recovering from his earlier incident as well.
Yeah, so again, not the way you want to get a win, but regardless, it is a win. So give us just a moment here, folks. So we're going to step away here, and we will get ready for your post-race show. So we'll be right back with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here as we're watching your race winner here, Sean Brightsman, burn the tires off of that highway. I believe it's a Toyota. Hopefully we get that right, but I believe it's a Toyota. Either way, it is indeed, yes, burning those tires off. We're here with the post-race show. We have third place, Chris White. First off, a very good recovery. You got into the wall there trying to avoid a wreck, ended up getting into the wreck as we talked to you during the race here under caution, but a fantastic job of recovering to third place. Again, we had most of the cautions here in the later half of the race. Had that caution not come out, you opted not to pit. Do you think you could have run down either Case or Sean tonight?
There's definitely a possibility. You never know if they could have gotten into each other and allowed me to get around them. If I'm not mistaken, I think I had much fresher tires on my car, so I was hoping to utilize those final laps to see if I could take advantage of those tires.
You did indeed. We're looking here. Sean had 56 laps on his. Case had 41, and you had 35. You were actually the least amount of laps on your tires here for the top 5 drivers. We actually were talking about that, getting ready for the green. So I have a feeling you might have had something for him here, as tires seem to play a big factor in speed here, as obviously they would anywhere. So it's kind of unfortunate that caution came out, that you were unable to race it out to the flag stand here for the checkered flag. But overall, a very successful night for you, finishing third. I'm pretty sure you're going to keep that points lead with that finish. That's really what this is about. You want to get the wins, but it's about the long-term points goal to win the championship. And speaking of the championship, do you have any sponsors or any shout-outs you want to give for getting you here tonight to get you that good finish to propel you to that championship?
Yeah, first of all, you know, it's always nice to get in the victory lane. However, you probably can't win them all. You just can't win them all. But good finish, third place. I'll take it. Got to thank the sponsors that put on this series: Wall Spirit Co., New Leader Highway, Sanctuary Studios, and it was a pleasure to put SimStar Motorsports on top as the race sponsor, and of course for my car. And another podium finish. Got to look at the big picture, though, and points add up.
They do indeed, and you're going to finish with quite a few here tonight. And again, keep yourself in first place in points, and that's really the end game here. You want to be at the top of the points, not necessarily the podium here for a race win. So again, like you said, long picture is the better way to go most of the time, if not all the time. But again, great job on a third place here tonight. Finishing in second right ahead of him was Case Hinkins, and looks like KR has caught up with him.
Case, great race for you tonight, finishing second. Not only that, but you jumped 3 spots in the points standing. You're now sitting tied for third with Gary Nichols. Tell us a little bit about your race and your charge towards the front of the points lead here.
Now, it was an up and down night tonight. We started out up front where I like to try and stay, and then unfortunately got caught up with some lap traffic. I didn't look at the replay, but I think it was probably my fault. And then got that fixed, came back out, and under caution we got hit in the back by, I think it was a 23. So had to come back in, get that fixed, and then start our charge back up to the front. I think realistically we probably had a 4th place car, but got some breaks there and ended up taking it home second.
So some good strategy there for you, playing out, having some fresh tires compared to everyone in front of you, allowed you to make some moves, work your way after you got that caught up in that incident. So once again, congratulations on second. But more than that, sitting third in the points, what do you think your chances are from here on out for the rest of the season, maybe getting this points lead wrestled away from Chris White?
I'm not too concerned about the points lead until the playoff time. You know, if I can steal a win, 1 or 2 going into the playoffs, that'd be great. As long as we're in the playoffs, then I think we'll have a shot.
Well, a very, I don't know how you would say it, but a very calm, relaxed mood towards the points. A good strategy there to have is just be relaxed. I like it a lot. Meanwhile, second in this race at Phoenix, up and down, like you said. Was there any time that you thought maybe you should have zigged when you zagged?
Yeah, definitely when I got into that original incident, I was running second after that first green flag run. I just caught that lap car way faster than I thought I was going to. It was probably my misjudgment, so like I said, I take accountability for that.
All right, Case, well, any sponsors, people you'd like to thank while you got a chance to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the SimStar Motorsports for sponsoring the race, and then Highway, New Leader, and everybody else who's involved with putting this thing on. Like I said, it's been a blast.
All right, well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
All right, and I just got it with Sean Brightsman. First off, before we get his perspective on the race tonight, speaking of ups and downs, Sean had ups and downs too. So that seems to be the theme of this race. But again, Sean, you're here in the booth with us. We talked to you earlier. All the way to 14th. I believe you started around 3rd or 4th. So all the way down and come all the way back up to finish in 1st. That is probably got to be one of the biggest rebounds here tonight. So what does it feel like to be in victory lane after all that's happened here tonight in the race?
Man, Charles, it feels great. I'm super ecstatic here to get back into victory lane. First time here in the Xfinity Series with that's presented by Highway Equipment Company. So really happy to be up here. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough for Mark and Scott, but we had that little close racing battle and gave us the lead there. But we were fighting for that lead too. So.
It definitely were. It looked like he just got a little loose there. Just curious, when he got loose there and came across your nose, somehow you managed to get through that all. Did your life flash before your eyes? Just how scary was that moment knowing that you could have been taken out as well?
It was definitely a little scary. Running through that, it happened so quick. I mean, I saw him get loose to my right, and next thing I know, he was sideways, and I was clear and in the lead. And I was like, okay, all right, that's gonna work out, I guess, pretty good. Now let's see what happens with this caution.
And that definitely is. We were covering that battle the whole time, side by side for several laps. That was probably some of the best racing we saw here all night, and it just happened to be for the race lead. So awesome job to both of y'all. Unfortunately, Mark Walls finishing back in 7th place. But we know you have some sponsors or shout outs you want to do. So who'd those be for that victory here tonight?
You know, first I got to thank Highway of Highway Equipment Company for sponsoring the Toyota Camry here tonight. Walls Beard Co., Wicked Chassis. Also got to thank the race sponsor tonight, which is SimStar Motorsports. Chris White, who finished 3rd, that's his team. So big ups to him on giving a sponsor there for the Xfinity Series. Also got to give it up to Sanctuary Studios for sponsoring our Thursday Night League. So big thanks to everybody that works behind the scenes to get everything going, give these great broadcasts, and I just can't wait to go back and watch all of it.
It definitely was a great race, and we were glad to be here covering it from start to finish. But again, congrats on the win here tonight. We're not done just yet, though, folks. We still have 2 more pieces of business to take care of before we sign off for the night here. So, Kara, if you want to run through our top 10, and I will finish it up here with 11th through 20th.
I'll tell you what, our race winner was Sean Brightsman. Started 4th, opening lap, got into some trouble, but managed to salvage a race win. So great job for him. Case Hinkins, no slouch, finishing 2nd place here, started 6th. Chris White, gonna be 3rd place. Jeff Stabnow got 4th. Gary Nichols 5th. Matt Henry 6th. Mark Walls, who led a bunch of laps, got into a couple incidences himself, is going to manage 7th place. 8th place of Brett Johnson. We didn't get to talk a whole lot about him, but solid finish for him. 9th of David Applegate, so just inside the top 10. One of your favorite drivers, having a good showing for him. And Brad Carpenter is going to round out the top 10.
And finishing in a close 11th place to go the Ray Foreigner. 12th place, Tom Green, who had some bumps and bangs here throughout the night. 13th, your second place person in points right now, Brian Barnes, also had a pretty up and down night here tonight. He ended up going a lap down, but he did get his lap back to finish in 13th place. 14th, Carl Burke, and 15th, David Heath. 16th goes to Scott Mann. So unfortunate for him. Not sure again what happened, but he did park it for the night. Andy Vogt, engine troubles, blew it up, so he parked it for the night. Brad Cornell finishing in 18th place. Scott Hutchinson and Donald Swayfield did not start here tonight. So unfortunate for them that they did not start here. But again, that just about wraps it up here. We want to go through all the sponsors again real fast. Again, simspeedshop.com. If you're looking for some great button boxes to further your iRacing career, check them out at simspeedshop.com or on Facebook at simspeedshop. HRE Motorsports and Elite 7 Racing. If you're looking for two teams here, great teams to follow on Facebook, check them out on their Facebook pages. Again, Elite 7 and HRE Motorsports. Virtual2Reality.tv, a very good team, or a very good league here, you might say. I guess not really a league, but an organization to follow. Get in there. You can pay $5 to go race and get a chance to win $75 with a $250 purse. That is obviously powered by Payday GG, part of that. And, of course, Dirtco Media House. A big shout out to them when we do stream to Facebook. It is courtesy of Dirtco Media House. Ohio IndyCar League. Big shout out to them. They came on board just recently, and then shortly after we actually started broadcasting their races here on iRacing. So if you are on iRacing in the Ohio club, check them out for some great IndyCar racing. Again, as always, on the MaxSpeedTV TV side of things, if you are looking to get into iRacing, have never been in it before, if you have a gaming controller or pedal and wheels, message us on Facebook at MaxSpeedTV and we'll hook you up with 3 months free on our iRacing. Again, this whole race was sponsored by SimStar Motorsports, but the presenter was Highway Equipment Company. So again, they have two divisions. One of those is Highway. We had some of their guys running Highway onboard cameras here tonight, as well as the other division, New Leader. So a big shout out to Highway and New Leader, both divisions of Highway Equipment Company, coming on to sponsor the 2018 season. And of course, Sanctuary Studios. Unfortunately, Josh Cushman does run that logo. He was not here tonight, so unfortunately he had to miss. But again, Sanctuary Studios coming on board for the 2018 season as well. But that will wrap it up here tonight. KR, any final words for the fans out there before we sign off?
Had some great racing, saw some drivers really get challenged and get into some trouble early. Our race winner was one of those guys, so man, heck of a wheelman to do what he did, and he never panicked and just slowly and methodically worked his way to the front.
He did indeed. So we'll look to see another fantastic race coming up next week. As we looking to next week, we will have, see here, Auto Club coming up next. So looking forward to a fantastic race there as well. And take a quick look here before we do sign off for the night. Coming up Thursday night, we'll be at Phoenix once again for the Sergeant Adams, Kangas 150 fundraiser race. So again, Sergeant Adams, Kangas 150 fundraiser. Hopefully I did pronounce that name right. But that's what's coming up here Thursday night with the Northwest Truck Series. But on behalf of the Northwest Xfinity Series, all the drivers, and all the staff here at MaxSpeedTV, we hope you have a great night, and we will see you at the next racing tomorrow night. So make sure you check it out here on YouTube.